advised, this is a free speech zone.
Welcome back to episode number 6 of the Be Advised podcast. I am Robbie. Behind me we got Ron and our special guest today, Sir Collin Williams. Collin, are you an actual knight?
Nah, not officially. Not officially, unfortunately.
Well, nice. Today we are going to dive in and kind of debate a little bit the subject of surveillance. And maybe they're like, what are you talking about? Just a peeping Tom? Because we'll just shoot it out there far left. Or the government looking at you, maybe, Ron? What's...
Well, anything can be hacked as well. But yeah, the government, if you... I like to give the example of, if you're in politics and you're not going along with the flow, you're not playing along with the agenda, I don't know, you might have some dirt dug up on you. Like somebody might know about your mistress or know where your kids go to school or something like that. Just let your mind run wild, man.
And then we have Collin. What do you think about this subject? Just a quick overview.
For me, I think that it's perceived the wrong way. I mean, there's how many billion people on the earth right now?
Yeah,
like 7.
Like, to think that somehow someone's spying on you, which is the capability's there. I'm just saying, it's very, I feel like you would have to be targeted for that kind of stuff to happen, I guess.
Not really. One of the things that I did forget to have you pull up is there was a Wired magazine. Wired magazine is awesome because you get to hear all the stuff that's coming up in the future. But they had a article in, I think, 2013 about the Nsa Facility in Bluffdale, Utah. Have we talked about that before, Robbie?
I don't think so.
So there's the largest NSA facility on the planet in Bluffdale, Utah, and it's still growing. It opened in, I think, 2013, and everything is jacked into it. Every Google search that you do goes there. Everything from your phone, Facebook, you name it. All this stuff goes there. You take a picture of your cock and you send it to your girlfriend. It makes a stop there. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Everybody is actively being spied on, but if you make yourself an individual, like let's say you hate Donald Trump or something, okay?
Which I do.
And you get like a following, like say people start to follow you because you're on our show here. Well,
it's possible.
Hey, you might get a visit from somebody, or somebody might you might fall down a couple of flights of stairs here. You see what I'm saying? So these things, they'll look you up. They'll go, what's Collin been doing for the last month? He goes here. He shows up at the same bar every night at 5 o'clock or whatever. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Well, they could do your transactions through your card if you don't pay cash.
Absolutely.
And then, I mean, to think on how many cameras exist, like, in general, just everywhere, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah, it all gets stored somewhere.
Right. But to be able to, like, follow someone from one point to another point is very feasible with, like, how many cameras exist. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and to think now, too, they have the smart cars that drive around that are constantly just taking pictures and collecting data. I mean, constantly. That's all they do.
Right.
Sit there and it's just a camera spinning.
Yeah. Well, have you seen the Rilo? They actually demoed this at the Princess months ago in one of the Palomino rooms. Only we know what that means because we're, But a Rilo is a 360-degree camera that can stream live.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing that.
So I think I see in the future police departments, the government, whomever, buying these things and putting them everywhere so that no matter where you are, if you're around this camera, you'll be seen. I'm old school. I'm 45 years old this year. I don't know from this. When I was a kid, the internet was like a conspiracy theory. There's no such thing as the internet. You know, only the government uses that. Like, so I'm analog, bro. You guys are digital. I'm analog. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very suspicious of all this stuff and where it's going.
But for like, what are you nervous about? Like,
you'll never be free again.
Free from what, though?
You'll never be free to you know, like, let's say you and your girlfriend go, hey, let's go fucking looking at houses. Let's go drive around and look at houses. So you're driving around neighborhoods. Well, somebody knows you're there. They don't know why you're there. So you get harassed, you get fucked with. See what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like if I have to explain it to you, you're not going to get it.
I mean, but that's what people have done for years, though, before that. So why would it be weird?
What do you mean?
Well, they've been.
What's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
I just use that as one little.
Okay. Well.
But so if you're in a surveillance state, you're in a prison. You're literally in a prison, right? I mean, so real quick, to illustrate to the viewers, show that video real quick about the 1.8 gigapixel camera. Only camera guys are going to get what that means, but they explain it in the video. It's very, very telling video.
This is the next generation of surveillance. For the first time, we actually have permission from the government to show the basic capabilities. It is important for the public to know that some of these capabilities exist.
Engineer Yannis Antoniadis designed the new sensor, known as Argus. With 1.8 billion pixels, it's the world's highest resolution camera. Argus fits inside this pod that attaches to the belly of a UAV. But because much of the work is classified, we can't see the sensor itself.
Because we are not allowed to expose some of the pieces that make up the sensors, so you get to look at pretty plastic curtains.
Also known as Wide Area Persistent Stare, Argus is the equivalent of having up to 100 predators look at an area the size of a medium-sized city at once. This image was taken 17,500 feet above Quantico, Virginia, and covers 15 square miles.
This whole image is at a very, very fine resolution. So if we wanted to know what is going on in any spot along this image, say near this building at this intersection, we can generate a moving image that shows what's going on in the area.
Simply by touching the screen, Antoniadis has opened up a window showing a detailed area, while still maintaining the broader context.
And everything that is a moving object is being automatically tracked. The color boxes represent that the computer has recognized the moving objects. You can see individuals crossing the street. You can see individuals walking in parking lots. There's actually enough resolution to be able to see the people waving their arms or walking around, what kind of clothes they wear. And you could pick the location of where you produce these images anywhere in the entire field of view.
Antoniadis can open up to 65 windows at once and can see objects as small as 6 inches on the ground.
From even 17,500 feet, the white thing that you see flying around is a bird.
Argus streams live to the ground and also stores everything, 1 million terabytes of video a day, which is the equivalent of 5,000 hours of high-definition footage.
So you can go back and say, I would like to see what happened at this particular location 3 days, 2 hours, 4 minutes ago, and it would actually show you exactly what happened as if you were watching it live.
To create the world's highest definition camera, Antoniadis needed to design a new imaging chip. But DARPA, the project's funder, wanted to move fast and keep costs down. so he borrowed technology that most people have in their pockets.
Inside this cell phone, okay, we find a tiny little camera. So if you were to take off the majority of it, you'd be left with an imaging chip. If you were to take 368 of these and make a big mosaic out of them and start shooting images, now you have Argus.
Unlike the Predator camera that limits field of view, Argus melds together video from each of its 368 chips to create a 1.8 billion pixel video stream. This makes it possible to zoom in and still see tremendous detail. Whether Argus has been deployed in the field is classified.
Well, I'm not at liberty to discuss plans with the government, but if we had our choice, we would like Argus to be over the same area 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's not very easily achievable with manned platforms. This is where UAVs come in, and they're absolutely the perfect platform.
Argus may be mounted on an armed UAV like the Predator, a long-range platform like the giant Global Hawk, or a development craft called the Solar Eagle that may someday stay aloft for years at a time.
The U.S. Air Force right now has the ability to archive every single video that comes off of every single UAV. We're moving to an increasingly electronic society where our movements are going to be tracked.
Something.
Anyway, and in 2010, Obama signed the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, and that said that you can take U.S. citizens and detain them indefinitely, and they have the power to assassinate people, U.S. citizens, without telling anybody. So you throw that into the fucking mix. That's why I don't like it. That's why I'm scared.
Oh, well, I mean, listen.
This is all going to be used politically.
Right.
It's not, and they'll use it for good here and there. Oh, we found a little girl that was missing.
Right.
Argus helped.
Right.
How many fucking people did you assassinate that year with that shit?
Well, I mean, our government kills literally thousands of people a year.
I know, and they fucking shouldn't.
Well, I mean, just pure in the ones we know about, right?
Yeah.
Which is just common war and stuff like that. And then all U.S. citizens that live in this state or this country, you know what I mean? Like, how many people get gunned down a year by cops and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So, I mean...
But this is just going to make it that much easier for them to fucking find you if they're looking for you.
Right.
So that's what...
Well, that's my whole thing. Until you do something wrong, they're really not looking for you, you know what I mean? Like, that's my whole take on the surveillance, because some people, it bothers some people, like, to be watched constantly, right? But at the same time, if, like...
But to some people, what we're doing right here is wrong. You shouldn't even be talking about it.
Yeah.
Especially on the internet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so they have a vested interest in keeping this shit, you know, under... They'll release it at PBS or whatever Discovery Channel we just pulled that clip off of. But then they'll tell you once, and then they won't tell you.
Right.
It's not like CNN constantly hammering, going, they're watching you, they're watching you, they're watching you, they're watching you. They've made it normal now. They made it normal to...
When was the last time you went down the 10 freeway on your way to Tucson?
It's been a while since I was a driver last, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you probably haven't seen it, but there's literally just cameras, both sides. So they track who's going up and down these freeways, like, and that's just common. Like, they didn't tell anybody. There's no sign saying like, "Hey, we're taking not only taking your picture, but we're scanning your license plate to see who's moving where." And then I forgot to send it to you guys, but I brought the link for the PD one. So a private citizen in Paradise Valley paid for all those. So every entrance and exit of Paradise Valley, like all those roads that go into Paradise Valley, they have not only facial recognition in certain cactuses, but all of them have like the scanning plates thing, where it scans your plate so they can figure out who's coming, who's going.
I know that these things can be used for a noble purpose. However, what you're doing is you're infringing on people's rights by
totally.
And I know it's a brave new world, and there's no going back. But I talk about these things with my dad all the time, and he's totally freaked out because he's old school. Yeah. He's 72 now, and he's never experienced this type of thing.
Right.
And it's not a guilty conscience or anything like that. It's how dare you surveil me like I'm guilty, like I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. Did you have any videos? You said you had a video, right?
I had the video of the actual. Let me see. It was. I brought another one. I was gonna watch it with you guys. I just found it, but I'll save that for later. But what happened?
Well, what about? Okay, just so tell everybody like what you were telling me before, like how your house is set up and all the shit that you have in.
Oh yeah, so I have an Echo device in every single room in my house.
You do the Google Echo? Is that
no? Echo is Amazon.
Oh yeah. That's
so I got the Echo Show with the camera in my living room or in my kitchen, and then I got a Echo Plus in my living room, and then I got a regular Echo in my garage, and then I have an Echo B4 thermostat that has Alexa built into it, and then I have a spot in my bedroom with a camera on it too.
So you use that to like turn the lights on and off?
Yeah. So everything's automated in my house.
So you're like Jetsons.
Just like walk in, Bill Gates' house or whatever. Set your temperature to each room and.
Oh yeah, well it's not that sophisticated, but it's pretty dope. And it's like I'll always like come home and like rush into bed or something like that when we're working crazy hours.
Yeah.
And I'll like lay down and I'll be like, shit, it's too hot in here. And all I have to do is go, Alexa, change the thermostat to such and such degrees. And boom, it happens. So everything's automated. There's a crap ton of cameras in my house too. Yeah. It's not on a secure network or anything. If you really know what you're doing, you could easily take them over. You know what I mean?
That doesn't creep you out though. Like, what if there's a live stream on like the dark web of you
all the time
beating off?
That'd be dope, actually. Like I'll be walking down the street, someone's like, "You're that dude.
You're the guy that jacks off every
with
day.
the Cheetos. What's going on?"
Hey, I'd shake your hand.
But that's how I feel about it. Like, if you really are that vested into like seeing what the F I do all day, you know what I mean? Like, by all means, go nuts. If you want to sit there and watch me be hungover and eat Cheetos on the couch and watch Gold Rush for the billionth time or some stupid crap.
But what if they start like, you have your show on the dark web, right? Okay. All Day with Collin, I believe it's called.
What does Collin do? Let's look.
You have your show and you don't care if people watch it. But what if they start like intervening into your life?
I mean, that's a real thing, right? I was thinking about so let me use this for instance, right? Like, if it affected my life, then obviously you just uproot, get rid of your stuff and whatever. But again, there's so many people on the planet. The odds of it being me, you know what I mean, is so just rare. You know what I mean? How affect my life?
Is it rare though? Because you have all this setup in your house to like a reality show.
I mean, yeah.
Not everyone has that.
Not only
hardly anyone has.
There's literally a camera in every room.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
not only just my security cameras, but like all these cameras. Like, this has a camera on it. My phone has a camera on it. You know what I mean? Like, everything has a goddamn camera on it at this point. So you're not going to get away from it anymore. That's kind of how I feel. Like, your phone does it.
Yeah.
You can just say, "Hey Siri," and then boom, three phones will light up. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. You know that they can turn the camera on or the microphone on anytime they want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is why I have this thing. I I believe in
web,
it in the sense of
blocker.
they have these little security things now.
Right, a little slide
Where you just
lock thing for your camera.
Right.
This is my thing.
I think these are the easiest cameras to hack, though. Is like device cameras, like phones.
Because you're on a network.
Right, and it's a viewable. I guess you can see the device. I don't know how they do it.
So but this is the kind of things that freaks me out. Is I have kids. Okay, what if somebody wants to kidnap my kid, and they just hack into all my house cameras and they know when I'm not there, and they just fucking break in and take my kid?
So here's my argument with that, though.
Yeah.
Is people that are that smart aren't usually like kidnappers. You know what I'm saying?
What if it's CIA?
But why would the CIA come for your kid?
Because they're after me.
Get out of town. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't got to worry about it.
I don't know.
Like, if I was doing something illegal or like I did something illegal, fuck yeah, I ain't gonna have nothing in my house, no cameras. I ain't shit. I'm talking from a radio in the middle of the desert, like hiding out,
running around payphones and shit.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, if you really want to wipe yourself of the world, you can.
You can't. How are you going to get out of the city? Let's say
they know where you're going every step you go.
Let's say you thought some shit was going down. You're like, all right, fuck it, I'm running. Where? To the next fucking roadblock to get busted? Like,
well, I mean, there's parts of the world that aren't wired up like here. You know what I mean? Like, you could go to very desolate. I mean, minus the video that you just showed of like, it's like, I'm away from everything. It's just like, oh,
that's
like, you little fucker.
You see how wide that radius was too?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I just don't think about it really, and it's fine. That's how I guess.
I think it is a generational thing too, because many people that are, your guys' age or younger, they just don't even think about it because it's been around
their entire
for a
life.
while.
Yeah.
But when you go from driving a 1973 Oldsmobile 98 that has no electronics,
right,
to your fucking smartphone knows when you're at Kmart buying KY jelly,
right,
or some shit, and where you're at in the store. And
do you have Bluetooth in your car?
No, it's not.
Negative.
It's 2005.
Okay. So it's funny you say that because I found it weird because I Bluetooth in my car, obviously,
to make phone calls, or
to make phone calls, play music, whatever, right?
Okay.
But like when I get my car and I start it now, it pulls up my house address and tells me how long it's going to take me to get home.
Oh yeah, I turned that off on my
automatically
iPhone.
The second I just turn my key and the Bluetooth kicks, it's just like, oh, hey, Collin, you're at work. You're driving home. It's going to take you 45 minutes to get home.
Right.
So if anyone wanted to like plan out your day and kill you for any reason, they could. Like your days are mapped out through technology.
You know?
I don't know, dude.
We're not talking just about.
You don't know right now.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Like everyone as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're not hiding from anything, man. Yeah, those days are gone. Like
so you're just embracing it then.
Yeah, it's been gone. That camera that they just showed right there, they're now talking about it. What are they not talking about?
What do they say? 1 billion.
That's what I think too. Like that's what they're willing to show us.
1 million terabytes.
1 million
a day.
Terabytes.
So that means that they did.
No, he said 100 million.
A day?
A day.
100
he said
a day.
Terabyte.
How
the hell did they?
For those that don't know, a terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes.
Everyone knows what a terabyte is now.
Well, what if my dad's watching? He doesn't know.
I guess.
Dad, I'll tell you what a gigabyte is later. How many megabytes or any gigabyte?
1,000.
1,000.
It's 1,000 increments.
So yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So what they're not talking about, right?
That's what's scary.
That's the scary part, right? And at some point, everyone's just gonna have to embrace it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't overturn this government.
I'm a new Luddite, bro. You know what the Luddites were? Yeah, look that up.
Luddites.
Luddites were a work union in the early 1800s, and they worked in textile mills. And when I forget what looming machine or something like that was invented, they would go around smashing them and shit because they're just going to take their job.
Right.
You know? And they ended up executing people that did that. So if you smashed a machine, you get executed by the government. That's how seriously they took it.
Jeez.
So like, what if I go crazy and I turn over a robot taxi and catch it on fire? Am I going to get the death penalty? Or are they going to, you know?
I guess it depends on which car, what person. There's a lot of...
So that's another thing that I don't... All of this is leading to... This is my point. All of this is leading to one place. And the one place that it's leading to is the New World Order, so to speak. And that is nobody owns property anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't really own property now. You always have to pay property tax.
You have this house, right?
Yeah.
Nobody owns a house anymore. You can't own anything anymore. And you can't leave the city. That's where all this is leading. It's all in.
Why wouldn't they want you to leave the city?
Well, you've seen those people that build like the off the grid places and how much
they don't like that shit.
They have to fight like
be independent.
Yeah, they have to fight for it, and they're like, "What the? We bought this land, we're living off of it." But some reason, I'll have to look it up or something. But
and beyond that, so we owe a fuckload of money to China. At some point, they're going to call in the loan, right? And our government is going to start giving them national parks and shit like that, and other people's private property to pay off the loan. And they'll just use eminent domain and say, fuck you, you can't own this property.
Right.
And then once our generation is gone and my kids are my age or older, it'll just be normal to live in an apartment the size of this room, and you may work 32 hours and you collect a little check from the government at the end of the month, and a drone brings you your coffee. And you're fucking shut in. You don't go outside, and it's not safe to go outside anymore because of the fucking criminals. And this is leading.
Let me play you this clip from BBC News.
Copy that.
It's China surveillance.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I had on my queue. Yeah.
现在好几是锁起门的。对，就是这的。
Well, let's see how long it takes you to find me. Thank you very much. Let's go.
我们可以追溯到说，出现每一张脸都可以对应说他的身份证，以及他所经过，比方说在过去1周，我们回溯他的行经路程，我们也做了像人和车的匹配。那同时在人上匹配还包括亲属关系匹配，然后是你经常接触人员之间匹配。就是当摄像机布到或者我们传感器布到一定密度的时候，其实我们会经常知道你跟谁经常在一起。
Well, here we are then. I've just got out of the car, close to the city centre, and for the purposes of this exercise, the plan is for me to start walking in the direction of the bus station. My image has already been flagged to the authorities as a suspect, and in theory, it should only be a matter of time. So already on this bridge, I can see 1, 2, 3 CCTV cameras. Of course, there's no point hiding from them. Just keep on walking.
可以呢，不一定非要从门里头通过，他就站在。哎，对，就是这的，就是这的。就是反过。对，就是这的。
Uh-oh. Right behind me, you can see just over my left shoulder there. Hello, guys. I've been expecting you. Maybe these guys aren't in on the joke.
那么对平民老百姓，是老百姓需要帮助的时候，我们才会录入这套系统。那他不需要帮助的这种情况，那么我们是不需要采集他的信息的。那这种信息只是在我们大数据里面有他的信息就行了。那在什么时候使用，是根据我们的需要来做这项工作的。
If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
对，是这样。所以说，老百姓应该不用担心。
你觉得为什么它
摄像头？
对，
因为现在民怨沸腾，就是它真正的用来预防犯罪的效果很少，反对的、不同意见的。那我觉得每天你都感觉到有一只眼睛盯着你，一只无心的眼睛，不管你干什么事儿，你总是有所顾忌。高科技为那个警察维稳提供了方便，所以他们的思路如果不改变，对这么一些意见人士，然后进行监控。可能是起了更大的作用。
Would it worry you to know that your every move, your every association was being watched? Does that change something fundamental?
Honestly, I won't feel very comfortable. There's a certain level of discomfort. First, I think technology by itself is a tool for human being, just like a weapon. If it is in the wrong hands, like in a terrorist hands, it might do very bad things, right? But government do develop weapons. I think there are reasons that technology keep advancing, like artificial intelligence. It can be applied to do a lot of good things.
British people don't know how to spell.
Right.
But so now Robbie and I have talked about this before, but now China has now a, what do they call it? Social credit score?
Credit score, yes.
So all of this stuff is being used to oppress people that don't go along with
the process.
Go with the flow, that don't like the Communist Party. In China, it's communism for the little man, for the citizens, and it's capitalism for the people at the top. It's a system that they use to oppress everybody that doesn't want to go along with the system. So if you have a poor social credit score, you can't own a house, just like everything I was just talking about. You can't. They won't let you buy a property. They won't let you buy a house. They won't let you buy a car. If you drink too much, you're a bad citizen,
right,
to them. And all of these things.
How do they track it though?
Face recognition cameras.
It's linked to your face. That's how you open your
and the AI system
passwords and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean that's how I open my laptop is with my facial recognition.
Exactly. There's your passwords.
Now stuff like that, I don't mind if I control it.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Like I would love nothing more than to never have to remember another fucking password or change my password every 3 months.
Oh God, it's so annoying, man. Yeah.
I would just want to go. It's me, motherfucker. Let me into my goddamn email right now.
Yeah.
Like I need to get on fucking Navigator, bro. Print out flows, dog. But
that's why he never had it. He's like, "Where's the facial recognition on this thing?"
Yeah. Why can't we use? It's oppressing us, but we can't use it.
Yeah. See.
So
that's a good point.
So that's
right
where
there.
it's all leading, and the average person in China is just a hardworking person that just wants to have a family and everything, and they're being fucked with. And so what that means is that's a way to control everybody, get everybody on the same page of what you want. I would love nothing more than if everybody in the world thought like me and drove like me and fucking ate the kind of food that I ate and would get the fuck out of my way when I'm driving down the road. Can't be that way. You have to coexist with everybody else.
Right.
So they're making a system to where they're going to control everybody in the same way. That's what I don't like about it.
Right.
So, and I know you don't have a lot of concerns in that way because you're like, why would they do that to me? But I'm giving you examples of
that it could potentially
Yeah.
At some point in time it could affect me.
And we're next. We're next with that shit. When they get that shit all,
that shit's here, man.
Every
time. In fact, I was looking up. There was another video I was gonna show you guys where the DMV. Look at it.
When you shop online
Commercial.
at GlassesUSA.com,
I looked up her skirt just now.
but at a regular store.
Controversial crime-fighting tool, but ADOT says it's working. We're talking about facial recognition technology. It's used when every one of us goes to get or renew our driver's license. ABC 15's Nohelani Graf is live at the MVD in Tempe for us this morning. No, hey, you've got some new numbers and even a new arrest made thanks to this system.
Yeah, Danielle, this guy was a known member of a notorious Chicago gang, an alleged drug dealer, now off our streets, all because he came and tried to get a driver's license using a name that wasn't his. His real name, Sandro Tintori. He already had 2 Arizona driver's licenses using stolen identities, something police say he'd been doing for years. ADOT making that discovery through their facial recognition technology. Every one of us ends up in that database when we deal with the MVD. That's why some people don't like it, because they feel like it puts us in an endless criminal lineup. But ADOT says what's really happening is workers are trained to play a matching game, if you will. And if you don't look like who you say you are, they send the info to the FBI.
So what if someone's opinion What if someone's opinion was, this guy doesn't look like this, and now they send your info to the FBI, and now you're on their radar, now they're surveilling you.
Right.
Just based on one person's opinion. It might not be the system, but it could be,
Right. I mean,
down to...
Unfortunately, though, it's just... You can't revolt it, right? You need to drive. I mean, you could just go completely off the grid and move to another country and try to dip out, but they're gonna get you eventually. You know what I mean? Somehow, some way, they're monitoring us. What they do with it is,
but it's the whole. I go back to the Constitution and stuff like that. There's nothing in the Constitution that says that they're allowed to surveil everything that you do, and and bring. Because if all these systems were brought together into one thing, that would end up being I don't know, what was that one movie with Tom Cruise? That fucking movie with the guy with the ball that rolls down the thing. And they look at it.
Didn't there used to be a law where a country couldn't spy on their own country? And then what they would do to bypass that is pay other countries to spy on them, and they would trade each other's information.
Yeah.
But didn't the Terrorist Act or whatever reverse that and allowed them to spy on us again?
Yeah, I imagine. They just push something through Congress.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. I don't lose sleep over it, but very valid points. I mean, they literally, everyone's in there. You know what I mean? They can track everything. Everything is done electronically.
Yeah.
Think of one thing that you don't do on your computer. How do you pay your mortgage? How do you know what I mean? You're not going over to the freaking bank and going, hey, Mary, here's my payment for the month. You know what I'm saying? You're walking down the street and going.
They won't even take cash for mortgages anymore. A lot of times
Right. We are headed to a digital era, and the way that they can track you is insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get into my phone, everywhere. it geo-tracks. It knows everywhere I've been in the last, I don't know, since I bought it 3 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it dies, that's it. They know where I've been.
You know what's super annoying is the Facebook ads and Instagram ads. When they know what you've been looking at, even if it wasn't on that device, or if you drive by a place, it'll show you ads for that place, or
right.
if it hears you
Coupons,
say, if it hears, like it just floods your feed or whatever. I mean, I guess that's not a big deal, but it just shows like that you're, because I've said something not looking at anything, and and an ad show up for it, like right away, and that's a little crazy, right? Like,
well, I mean, sometimes I think
that's just an ad company doing that,
right? But it's doing it based off of like not only your history. I think the voice thing that everyone talks about, I think sometimes it's just ironic. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure there's an algorithm out there that they use to get key phrases when you speak, right? To do the advertising, but I think a lot of it is dumb luck, honestly.
Did you see that Adobe program that if you had 40 minutes of someone talking continuously, you can then make them say anything?
I heard it was 10.
Maybe they had that was just the beta and they updated it.
Yeah,
but
they showcased that in 2000.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was 18 years
but
ago.
now, like, it's coming to like consumers, so
right.
Someone could go into your phone and then voice recognition or like record your session or whatever, you know, and now they have your voice.
They can change inflection, everything.
Yeah, you know,
unlock your house with your own Alexa.
Well, I think it was you that we were talking about my Alexas, and I was talking about getting a wireless door locker, and they're like, "What if I just went outside and screamed, 'Hey Alexa, unlock the front door'?" So, me, you know, like, fuck, I didn't even think about that. Holy shit!
You'd have to put a sign on your door that says, "Please be quiet, I'm napping," or something.
Yeah,
just throw them off their game.
But I got a camera on my front door too, so.
Well, I have one too.
So you'd know in seconds. I have a Ring doorbell. We talked about that before. Did you buy that one?
Yeah,
you bought
I got it. Yep.
Now, see, I don't mind that because, you know, I guess I control it. I mean, the footage does go somewhere, right?
Yeah, it gets stored.
You know, in the cloud up there somewhere. But,
I mean, you pay for them to store it. That's what's funny about it. Like,
yeah, $30 a year.
Yeah, $30 a year for them to record the front of your house, which is, I mean, I see those being used more. I can imagine those being using more. Like, instead of, like, there's a city, and it's somewhere in Europe, but like it's like a very dense city, right? Everything's on top of each other, tall buildings, you know what I mean? Like dense cities like in Europe. And they just have camera systems everywhere. And they can literally watch you from
the Dutch or something.
What you step out all the way to...
I think Camden, New Jersey is like that. I think it's Camden or... Yeah, every single corner has a camera. Jacked into the police department. You're just fucking sitting there all day watching people walk around. And then meanwhile, you can just get a fucking police scanner on your phone. The criminals are always going to find a way.
Right. I mean...
You know, it doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but I think in a criminal in that sense, they would have to be sophisticated. And once you bring intelligence into something, you're either really off your rocker or you just don't have time to do it. If you're that intelligent, you got shit to do. You know what I mean?
So Ron, Collin, you were saying you wanted one of those Roomba vacuum cleaners, right?
Right.
Ron, I know you have this video over here. You want to speak a little bit about it, and then we'll play this
So
one?
I think this is a different one than the one that I originally sent you, but it's under the same premise. Is that so the new Roombas, because we have an older one, but the new ones you can connect to. It's an internet device, the Internet of Things.
Right.
You know about that, correct?
You can launch it from your phone.
So the Roombas do everything. They vacuum the floor and they sweep hardwood floors and everything. So it has a layout of your whole house.
Yeah, maps it.
And it's been talked about, will they sell this information in the future to third-party people?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what sells now is information. That's why they give you a little card at Fry's. Hey, we'll just give you a discount on everything. Why would they do that? Just because you fucking entered your name into it? They're looking for data that they can sell to someone else.
Yeah, it is nice. We have that though, because if you go on the app, you can just like reorder your groceries.
Right.
But that is pretty convenient.
So somebody, again, if you were a brilliant criminal,
right,
could fucking hack your Roomba and know the exact layout of your house.
Yeah, but you can do that on Zillow now. Think about it. Everything's...
My house isn't on Zillow. You talking about the what do you call it? Is that a real estate thing?
Yeah.
You gonna put my address in?
Here, you look for that. Let's play this clip right here.
I'm getting worried now that I'm thinking about everything that's connected to Wi-Fi in my home. What else could possibly be up for sale? But to hear that the Roomba is supposed to be our buddy, our friend.
Our friend that does everything for you, right? Well, data is everything, and more and more of us have these connected devices in our home. Roomba, they have a line of these robot vacuums that promise to clean your place when you're not at home. And these Wi-Fi, some of these are Wi-Fi connected, and you may have opted in to have your information about your home sold to companies like Google and Apple, and you may not even know about it. The privacy policy right now technically allows for Roomba to sell the information that could benefit companies like Google and Apple and other companies that have these smart home devices to have a better idea of what your home looks like. How do you opt out? What types of devices you have. You can go into your Roomba and opt out of in the privacy sharing section of the app, the iRobot app.
It could also tell someone when you're not home.
Exactly.
Because usually people time these so that they're not home at the time, or when they're asleep.
And it's getting a little scary. I mean, it speaks to the larger picture that, as you do have more and more of these devices, you have to be cognizant of what information these companies do have and what they can do with that information.
It's already amazing. Whenever you Google something, when we were looking for our vacation, and now every ad I see on my Google page is all vacation related. All of it. So I mean, they're watching everything you're doing. Nothing is going unnoticed. Nothing.
I just got a Google Home. I love the Google Home. But one of the things that it can do is I can actually speak to it to find me, the next flight to New York, for example. And I can, if I have all the information connected, it could lead me towards booking that trip right on the Google Home. And it's, these devices are quite powerful.
The website Zillow.
Zillow.
I put my address into there, and not only did it show my house, it showed a picture of my kid on his bike. I shit you not.
Think about it. Everything's...
My house isn't on Zillow. My house isn't on Zillow. That fucking freaks me out.
Yeah. You're in, man. I know when you sold your house, I know like an estimate of how much you paid for it.
Yeah.
2009 is when you bought it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I just found that out right now.
Mm-hmm.
See? But that's public record, though.
The guy that we bought that house from, this family, that really sad story. The guy fucking killed himself in the house. He had 3 kids.
You still in the house you bought?
Yeah. They have to disclose that shit.
I know.
That's wild, dude. You gonna send that to me?
Yeah.
Email me that.
Crazy, right?
You know my work email, right?
Yeah. Ron Ward, everybody.
Okay,
I just blew your mind right now.
I'm fucking, dude. I need to go float, bro, and just think about that for a while.
Yeah, man. And I'm not even.
disgusting.
This is not the dark web either. This is like common shit. I can find out everything.
That was
about
just if you're looking for houses, boom.
But like to know how much someone paid for it, so you can sit there and figure out and estimate how much someone's in debt, right? Just based off of what you see. I'm great at it. Like I watch people when they're when they pull up in their cars, what kind of house they live in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can break down very easily what someone's in debt for. And that's the part that scares me when it comes to tracking and stuff, because if they wanted to, if someone could figure out who was desperate for money, right, or at the cusp, what would you do for that money, right? You can be bribed easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. Yeah, that's
Thanks
crazy.
for fucking freaking me out, dick.
Oh, man, I love...
I mean, arguably stuff like that is, you know, that's public knowledge because of real estate values and stuff like that. But, I don't know.
That is crazy. That is your kid. Dang. I just screenshotted it.
That's wild. Email it to him, too, so you can put it on there.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. Where do we go from that? So I was going to tell you this story. This awesome segue, but it's kind of like what Ron was saying. The grocery store, like, keeps what you buy and stuff. So say you go to the grocery store and some reason you were like, you needed, or not even the grocery store, like a hardware store or something, like, and you were painting your house and got a bunch of plastic to put on the ground, whatever. And there's a murder that day, and they, for some reason, find the body in like plastic, and they go to find who bought plastic that day. Mm-hmm. And they see that you did. This actually happened to a guy. I don't know, not exactly what he bought or whatever, but the same situation where there was a murder, and for some reason they bought a ridiculous amount of, I don't know, like trash bags or something. And they arrested the guy, and he came out not guilty. But yeah, he had to pay all that court fees and everything just because he bought something
just to prove that he wasn't the guy.
Yeah, because they're looking for an easy way out and stuff.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of shitty police work. I mean, just because you could buy plastic whenever you want.
But that happened because they're keeping track of everything.
Right.
It was like a painter's drop cloth plastic or something.
Well, that was just an example.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it and overlay.
Loyalty cards. Your store loyalty or rewards cards can also get you into trouble, as the government might pressure the store for info if they were ever investigating you. In one instance, Safeway used customer rewards data to provide police the name of a man who had purchased a fire-starting unit. The cops, who were investigating an arson, ended up arresting the loyal customer, then dropping the charges after discovering the poor guy was innocent. In another situation, the DEA subpoenaed store records to find customers who bought large amounts of plastic bags, which were frequently used in drug transactions. As if that's not bad enough, the British government is considering using customer loyalty records to target people who buy too much junk food with ads for healthy life.
You're still relevant on that, right?
I truly, like, when
that
I was
was
a kid,
creepy though.
I was very young. We lived in a city in Garland, and my dad up and moved us out in the middle of fucking nowhere, dude. And I couldn't figure out, like, when we first started going to this place, we had to go onto our neighbor's property to get to our property because the road didn't even go that far.
Oh shit!
Like, you had to build the road the rest of the way to get onto our property. And I'm there, man. I want to fucking go to the desert and dig a bunker and fucking grab my AR-15.
I want a bunker too.
And fucking roast a pig on a fucking fire like fucking Rambo and just wait for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that would put us into that would be not to get off topic or anything, but like an EMP blast, essentially.
EMP?
Yeah.
Explain
a solar
to
flare.
The viewers what that is.
Electromagnetic pulse.
Mm-hmm.
Disables all of our stuff.
All electronics.
All electronics. There's a reason that I have a bug out vehicle.
Do you have a Faraday cage?
Nah. It's just a natural aspirated carbureted motor. No computers in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think that's the one thing that's gonna, if anything were to ever happen, that's what's gonna happen.
Well, they keep saying that they around election time, they kept saying that North Korea was going to do that to us, and I'm like, fucking bullshit, dude. We're going to do it to ourselves.
Right.
Like the government's gonna be fine, but how you doing? If we ever get too awake as a society, you see what I'm saying? They'll just do that to us.
Right.
They'll fry everything, and then they'll go, all right, now we'll help you. That'd be like the new 9/11, you know?
Right. No, that itself would be like, just think of everything. Everything's electronic. I know we're kind of getting off topic, but it's not. It's like we live in this digital era where everything's monitored and can be monitored and tracked. Like you could, like, what's the one thing that always, like, do you have a delete history browser friend? Like if you were to die tomorrow, it'd be like, yo, do me this huge favor, go to my house, delete my history.
No, I had my computer set up to where as soon as you shut it off, it deletes everything. I don't want anybody to see the kind of porn that I watch.
I mean, that's really what
I actually stopped watching porn.
Yeah.
I really did.
You what?
I stopped watching porn.
Altogether?
Altogether. Gave it up.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I think I could probably quit cigarettes before I did that.
Although I have taken some screenshots of like some naked girls.
Ooh la
On
la.
my phone. Oh, this is funny. You're gonna love this.
Just the way you say it, though, like you said.
Well, it's not video. See, that's how I justify it. I like to look at naked girls. Okay, but so I bought a pair of shoes from DSW, and within a month, not even a month, the heel ripped out of them. Okay, over $100 for these fucking shoes.
Right.
And 28 days in, they're fucking ruined.
Right.
It was giving me a blister on my heel. So what am I doing? Is it still running?
Yeah, you're good.
My camera?
Yeah.
So I go into DSW, okay? And there's this nice little old lady behind the counter, and I'm like, ma'am, I bought these shoes less than a month ago, and they're already worn out. I show them to her. She goes, okay. Do you have the receipt? And I said, unfortunately, I don't have the receipt because I don't have it, but I have a screenshot of it because you know how to do the conversion.
I know where this is going.
So she literally goes like this. She's like, okay, that's the receipt. And then she's trying to make it bigger, and she goes, oh! And she starts laughing, and she gets all red. And I was like, motherfucker!
Oh my god!
I'm like, oh my god! I cannot believe that just happened to me, dude. And I didn't even think about it at all.
Oh, that is so good, though.
Yeah,
that is rich.
That's my favorite, though. Isn't she cute?
Yeah, but like, oh, talk about awkward.
Awkward.
Little old lady.
But she probably thought I did it as a joke or something, but I
guess that's better than like a
these
dick
things
pic.
happen to me, dude.
What's that?
Like a dick pic? I guess that'd be better than
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't do that.
Yeah, no.
Well, my dick isn't that majestic, so it's probably really
I don't think any dick at
embarrassing, you know what I mean? Maybe the big veiny ones. But
we're taking a dark turn here.
I don't know how we got off on that, but yeah, that was an embarrassing afternoon. And then I went directly to work, and that's the way I am. I went directly to work and fucking confessed to everybody there. I was like, this is what just happened to me. And they were laughing just like you are. They were like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? That happened to you? Yeah, that happened to me.
Oh, wow, that's just... Can't get over it, dude. Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. All right.
All right, well, we're hitting that hour mark.
All right.
You want to do a wrap up?
Well, I think we both made some good points, and we had some...
Yeah, I don't think there's, like, you can't come to, there's no conclusion to this. It's obviously just a discussion, but, like, yeah, it's real. They're watching everything. Everything can be tracked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do. You could be in the most ruralist areas on this planet at this point.
They have Argus now.
Right. You think that what was it? Something billion pixel?
At 1.8.
Right. And they're just
billion.
showing you the stuff that they can get from drones. You know? What if there's a low altitude satellite that's going? Which they do. So
We got it. We didn't even get into smart dust.
Smart dust.
Oh, you don't know about smart dust? Holy shit.
Is that what you call cocaine now?
No, they have nanobots that are the size of like dust, and they can like spray it in the air and leave the area, and they know if you walk through there.
Well, can't you just put a camera up?
Yeah.
Smart dust, you can't
Or
see
just
smart dust.
stay there.
You can see a camera.
I mean, you could hide a camera in a goddamn pop
What
can.
if a lot of people walk through it and take all the smart dust up before the person you want gets there?
I don't know. Supposedly, it could tell like that it's you by your DNA or something, or nanorobots that get into your nostrils. And
Ew, so it's just like hopping from
reprogram your
nostrils to
brain.
nostrils, like trying to find
Sounds
it.
like asbestos. Just like...
Yeah, smart asbestos. All right, so are we wrapping up, or because I think my camera shut off?
Probably. All right. Well, we're at this camera now.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
You got to come back, man.
Oh.
We got to do a night show so we can drink.
Yeah, I just got to not drink the night before and the
Are
night
you
before.
like way hungover?
Oh my god, I thought I
Really?
was gonna die.
Call
I was gonna
into
ride
a
my Harley here,
bonfire.
and I ended up coming in my car because I wanted air conditioning.
It's cold outside.
I
Well,
was
not
like,
cold,
I don't
but-
want to get beaten up right now. I'm so hungover, and I wanted to drink my Monster. so I
That would,
woke up.
if I had a bad hangover, that would fucking spiral it out of control. Those things are like,
This is the only reason I exist. No bullshit. Don't sleep. I live off beer, nicotine, and caffeine.
Grape monster.
and other things.
Right.
All right. Well, Collin.
Ron Ward, everybody.
Ron Ward.
coming at you.
All right. Well, that wraps up episode number 6 of the Be Advised podcast. So, from Collin, Robbie, and Ron, be advised.
Please be advised. I think that was all.
Be advised, this is a free speech zone.